What up, guys? It's Dom, and welcome back to another movie review. Today, unfortunately, we're going over Borderlands. Borderlands, released in 2024, written and directed by Eli Roth. Based on the best-selling video game, this all-star action-adventure follows a ragtag team of misfits on a mission to save a missing girl who holds the key to unimaginable power. Let's get right into the 10 essential aspects of a movie. The first essential aspect is plot. So the plot of this movie was very simple. It was kind of just this group is trying to get to the vault and secure it. It's really just very linear. They just want to go from one place to another, and that's the whole movie, which is fine in a lot of instances as long as it's done right. I don't know. They could have still done it way better. I felt like the ending was god-awful, very predictable, and very underwhelming, and also very confusing. So they really had to clean this up a little more if they wanted to get a really good plot. It's honestly just very mid overall. The second essential aspect is attraction. So sure, this movie had its entertaining parts here and there, but for the most part, I was not enjoying myself watching this movie. The part that I enjoyed the most was the overall look. I thought the look of the movie was really interesting. It was really cool, and they wore these digital masks in the movie that I don't know why. That's just the thing I remember the most. It was just the masks themselves were so cool. But besides those two, I really just did not enjoy the movie. So I don't think this movie's attractive in any way. The third essential aspect is theme. I could not tell you what the theme is of this movie. I really don't. I thought about it for who knows how long now, and I really could not come up with one. So let's just move right on. The fourth essential aspect is dialogue. So the dialogue in this movie, I guess, is fine. Like, the conversations felt real, cringy at points. The comedy was very cringy. And Claptrap, who's played by Jack Black, I thought that he was the only one that at least one of his jokes hit. I know that it was at least somewhat funny. A lot of it was cringy, but he is the only character in the entire, other than Krieg, but that's for a different reason. I feel like Claptrap was the only character in this film that actually somewhat made me laugh. But besides that, all of it was just cringy jokes that really just aggravated me. So the dialogue was fine, I guess. Definitely could have been improved, but it's fine. The fifth essential aspect is acting. So overall, the acting in this movie was god-awful, honestly. I thought no one did a real good job. It really kept pulling me out of the movie. Florian Montigny was the only one that I really enjoyed, like, completely in this movie. He played Krieg, and I thought he matched the personality of a psycho perfectly. So I thought that he did an amazing job in this movie. And Jack Black as Claptrap also, he was just the voice, really, so it was more in dialogue, like I was saying. He was the only one that kind of had good jokes at some points, not all of them. I feel like the writers just didn't give them good writing in order to actually make it good. Because, for example, Kevin Hart's in this, and he is a good actor, and he's a funny guy, but the jokes and lines that they wrote for him just were not good. So it's not even his fault that he wasn't a good actor in this. But yeah, overall, the acting in this is not even worth mentioning, besides for Florian and Jack Black. The sixth essential aspect is cinematography. Now, this is the only part in this movie that I'll actually say was good, because the movie looked amazing. I thought the actual visuals of the movie were awesome. The rest, not so much, but the cinematography definitely was good. They didn't do a good job really making me feel any emotions, and even at the end, when there was a chance that someone might perish, I was totally fine with that. I really did not care at all if someone perished in this. But I mean, the visuals were good, so I guess I'll give it cinematography. The seventh essential aspect is editing. So Borderlands was an hour and 41 minutes long, and I was glad when I was going into this movie because I already saw what it was rated. I knew it was probably going to be a bad movie. So when I saw it was only an hour and 41 minutes, I was like, okay, you know what? That's good. They didn't make it that long. After watching it, I still think they should have made it shorter. Or they should have improved the movie. Either way, but if they're gonna have a movie that bad, at least cut it back all the way down to like an hour 30, an hour 20, just something short and sweet, so that I don't have to deal with it for as long. Because I really like. Of course, I'm a movie reviewer. I have to review the movie. I love to review it, even if it's a bad movie. But like, it felt like such a waste of money to go watch the movie. I could have gone my entire life without seeing this movie, and I would have been happy about it. So I don't know. I guess it's good that they didn't push it to the 2 hour mark, and the pacing of the movie was at least good, where it actually went from point A to point B, just because of the linear plot. But other than this movie sucks. I really don't know what else to say. The eighth essential aspect is soundtrack. This movie had some okay soundtrack. I know it definitely fit the scene. Even if the scene was terrible, it still fit the scene. But it's not memorable enough for me to remember what the songs even were. I could not tell you a single beat or song playing in the background of this movie. I just know that it fit in general. The ninth essential aspect is directing. So the director of this movie is Eli Roth, and it was his job to take these previous 8 essential aspects, put them together to make a movie that's worth watching. Now, I definitely don't think this movie is worth watching, obviously, based off of how this review has been going so far. But he has previously directed 9 movies, and they were Cabin Fever, Hostel, Hostel Part 2, The Green Inferno, Knock Knock, Death Wish, The House with a Clock in Its Walls, Finn, and Thanksgiving. Now, I haven't heard of a lot of these movies. I have heard of The House with a Clock in Its Walls, but if any of them are like this movie, it is not done well. I'll have to look into it. I didn't check what those were really reviewed as, but this movie was not good, so I can't imagine that this is his movie with experience, with 9 films of experience. So, I don't know. Eli, better luck next time, I guess. And the 10th essential aspect is time. Will Borderlands stand the test of time? I'm sorry, it's just too funny. It definitely will not. It will not stand the test of time. The only reason it would in any world is just because it's based off of probably one of the more popular video games. So if it wasn't based off of Borderlands, it definitely would never in a million years. But since it is, maybe, but definitely won't to me. Now, onto the reviews. Now, the reviews of this movie are low, and it makes sense why. So, Rotten Tomatoes critics gave it a 9%. Single digits is crazy, but yeah, gave it a 9%. Rotten Tomatoes audience gave it a 52%, and IMDb gave it a 43%. Now, even though this movie is terrible, no movie really deserves a 9% unless it has nothing going for it. This one's got the visuals. It has some comedy, kinda. So, yeah, it definitely doesn't deserve a 9%. And it could be middle of the road. I think I'm going to agree more with IMDb for a little under the middle of the road because it was god-awful. But that 9% just makes me laugh. I can't believe it's actually that low. And finally, the rankings. Where will Borderlands rank in its year, decade, and in all time? Let's find out, starting with 2024. For obvious reasons, it's going to be 5th. It's going to be below If. If was an okay movie, 1,000 times better than this movie. It is so much better than this movie. So I don't really think I have to go into detail of why I'm putting Borderlands so low. And in the 2020s, it's going to be 6th below Beautiful Disaster. Now, Beautiful Disaster has its cringe moments, but overall, I really do like the plot of that movie. I like the acting. I think the concept is funny, so I would much rather pick up that movie 10,000 more times than pick up Borderlands. And in all time, it's going to be 27th. It's going to be above Steel, but below Howard the Duck. Now, Steel, it is still my least favorite movie I've ever watched. I thought it was 20 times cringier than Borderlands, and that's saying something. But I don't know. Maybe it's because it was a DC movie and they could have done something so good with that character, but then they chose Shaquille O'Neal, who definitely tried to be way over funny. And in a movie like Grown Ups 2, he can be, but I feel like not really in a DC movie. So that's really the only reason it's staying at the bottom of the list. Borderlands, I think I'd probably rather rewatch that, even though I would never want to, over Steel. And Howard the Duck, it was made in the 80s, so it doesn't have the best visuals, but overall the plot was interesting, I did think, and the acting besides Howard wasn't that good either, but it's still better than Borderlands, so it's going to be above Borderlands. That's all I have for Borderlands. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, even if it was just absolutely shitting on it. I hope if you guys did, leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to comment what movie you want me to review next. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace out.